Welcome to week 14 and 15 and the final assignment in our CAD 100 class. Now it's going to be a civil engineering project, and it's really going to be a fun little project. It is a basic drawing of a plat, and it's right here in week 14 and 15 task list, assignment 13. And the first thing that we want to do is open up this civil drawing model PDF, and we got to see what we got to reproduce. Now this drawing's been it's in on a PDF, and we got to take it and put it into a CAD software, which we're going to do. But there's some data on here that you got to understand how to utilize to be able to draw with, and I'll show you that as this thing downloads this file in. Now in front of us here we have just a simple little layout here, and you have to use your civil template. Now if you look at it, right here is a property. Here's the property lines going up through here, and they have your basic dimensions. You got your feet in here, and then you got your bearing in the direction. It goes from 1 to 2, 3, goes counterclockwise around this thing. And undoubtedly they're trying to get a permit with this, so inside here they had to show the footprint of the building and the sizes that they're proposing, where the parking lot's going to be. Then also you can see all your utilities coming into this. Where are they going to branch off of the main lines and come in to the services on the proposed building? And of course here's your roads. There's the center lines of these roads, and then we have a legend over here. Now down here at the bottom we have some notes on this. It says sewage line is offset 10 foot from the edge of the road. So the sewage line, if we come over here, sewage is a green, like a hidden looking line, and it's offset off the road there 10 foot. Natural gas line, we come over here and look at it in the legend. Natural gas is red. It is offset 5 foot from the sewage line over here. And then the road is offset 15 foot from the property line. So off of this property line, offset it over 15 foot, and that's where our road is. And of course the road is 30 foot wide across, and then a center line right in the middle. So that's basic data, and that you have to utilize. But there's one more other piece of data up here. It's SCP, or it could be also said SPC. It's state coordinate planes, or state plane coordinates. I hear it being said both ways. And what that is you got 1,000 foot by 1,000 foot. So what are they talking about? Northing and easting, and what's these numbers? Well, if you look here, number 1 is talking about 0.1, and it's telling you exactly where it is in space from an origin. Your origin is your 0, 0 spot. And if you're using state plane coordinates, or state coordinate planes, whichever way you want to say it, there always is an origin in every state, your 0, 0, and sometimes states are divided up. Now Kentucky, you can use the single state plane coordinate and there's one origin, or you can use the north, and they have it split up in two halves, the south and north, and they'll have two different origin points. So that's something to remember. So on this one, northing means that is your Y direction from that origin. Now, like the single zone Kentucky state coordinate plane, it is the lower left tip of Kentucky out toward the Paducah area. It's the lower left tip. And in this, if you use the south, and where you're using the split of Kentucky, it is in the same location. But now the northern half is just a little bit different. But on this one here, what we're saying is northing would be your Y, easting would be your X. And why they're saying northing and easting is because your origin is always going to be in the lower left corner, meaning everything is going to be positive. Everything is going to be, X is going to be positive, everything in Y is going to be positive. And again, X is what they call easting, because every direction, that number in easting is always going in the positive direction of X. Now northing is always going to be going above the origin, which puts everything in Y positive. So that's the reason you have northing and easting. That's the reason you don't have southing and westing. It's all going to be positive, positive. So when we're doing this, it's the first thing I would do. I would start out by making some points, and I'll show you how to do that. And we're going to start putting these numbers in right here. And I'll show you. Number one is going to be the property line here. So I'm going to go to AutoCAD. Before I do that, I'm also going to go back here into this, and I want to open up. There's a civil template already there. And I clicked on it. Probably should have saved it. I brought it in there just like this. That'll work out just fine. B-size paper is on here. I should have everything set up. All my layers should be set up. So what I want to do on here is I want to show you guys how to set up your points. Now we're going to do that number one, and again we go in here. Number one is 1,000 foot by 1,000 foot. That means I want to go over an X in easting 1,000 foot and then go up in northing 1,000 foot. So basically, go back into AutoCAD, and I want to set up my point system. So go up here to the top where you see Format. Now if you don't have this on yours, more than likely you need to come up here and click on this little fella right there, and where it says Hide Menu Bar. See how I'd hit it? If I go back up there and hit Show Menu Bar, it'll bring it up. And hit Format, slide down to Point Styles, and you are going to choose, I like to choose this one right here, and you're going to click on Absolute Units. Now relative, it's if you take your mouse and wheel it back and forth, it sets that size to wherever it looks like, you know, on the computer, on the spatial screen. And if I click on absolute, it makes everything exactly the same size. So I don't know what kind of scale that was, so I'll have to go back here and look at it again. This one doesn't even say on here, so I'd imagine we'll have to try to figure out what kind of scale we're going to use when we put this thing on that B-size paper. Anyways, I'll just put in inches. I'm just going to throw up a number like 100. Let's see what happens. And now I'll come over here to what's called Draw and do a point. Y'all see the point, multiple points. Now if you got a newer software on your computer, the actual little graphic icon looks a little different. You just got to hover over, and eventually it'll tell you what it is. But we'll click on this, and it asks for a specific point. And remember, our easting was 1,000, so type in 1,000 foot, comma, and then Y is northing 1,000 foot, enter. Well, I don't see it anywhere, so what you'd have to do, hit Z for zoom, and then E for extent. Extents, or click on it right here. Right there it is. Just have to back up a little bit from it. There's my point. Now I'm just going to go around this thing and start drawing in my boundary lines right here. And to do that, that first one is 450 foot with a bearing of 892503. I'm just going to put this over here like this. I'll do this one the same way. Get a hold of it there. And we'll kind of work on them together. That makes it a little easier. So again, this is a point, but it's also called a node. So what I want to do is come down here and Object Snap. I want to go into those settings, and I want to make sure that my node is turned on. Okay? And then I want to come up here to Line, click on it, and I want to put that, I want to take my ortho off, and I want to put that first dimension in, which is, I use at. When I use at, it makes this become 0, 0. For the line. I'm going to put 450 foot angle. Y'all see that right there? That means angle. N for north, 89, D for degrees, and I'm getting this data right here off this, and 25 minutes and 3 seconds E for east. Now make sure you look at that, how I've got that wrote out. That's a polar coordinate. And then I just hit enter. There's that line. Now, I've got my line weight turned on, so I'll turn it down just a little bit, and everything looks really, really good. Now, if this point is too large or too small, just go up to Format, Point Style, and 120 inches. I can adjust like that. So go all the way around this thing. Again, at, which makes this 0, 0, 348.25 foot angle in 15D for degrees, 12 minutes and 56 seconds east. Enter. And I want you to go all the way around this thing and get all that in. After you get all the land boundary put in, come back up here and put your points in. Just boom, boom. And you got your little points in. And basically, after you get all your land boundary in there, then you can start doing your offsets. Remember, you use your offset tool. And if you look over here on this thing, it says that the road is 15 foot from the property line. Just click on this. Make sure you 15. Make sure you put your unit on there. And you can start adding that in. And then, of course, offset 30 foot for the road. You might want to do 15, 15 because you have to have a center line. So again, just go about it like that. And also, I like to do this. Just use your extend button. Click on the line you want to extend to, and you shoot this one over to it, just like that. Extend again. Extend. Grab that one. Shoot that to there. Then you can actually grab that back, put that back on there. And then this one needs to be extended. Just like that. And actually, this needs to be extended on over as well. That way you don't mess up any of your see, we messed that up. We'd have to fix this again. So you really got to watch what you're doing on this stuff. You can really throw yourself off by missing a point. And then do a trim. I was wondering why that little access was there. Just like that. And you go all the way around this thing and you'll create every bit of this. Get rid of that line. So now, really and truly on our print, we've got this point, we got this road all in there. We've got the basics of it. And then like your next point on this would be number 9, your state plane coordinate, and it is easting. So I'm going to go in here and go back to draw points and specify my X point. My X from the absolute 0, 0 is going to be 1167.538 foot, comma. Then I put my Y part in, which is 1091.036 foot. Enter. There's my point. So I can start out and I can draw all that in there. And of course, utilize the correct layers, guys. I haven't been using those layers, but I go in there 210 foot. Enter. Oh, I put a point in there. I meant to go line, but it all works out the same. No, it doesn't. This is straight. So hit line. 210 foot. Straight up. Use your ortho. 160 foot. We come over 100 foot. We come down 80 foot, come over 40 foot, come down, I think it's 20 foot, and back over. You line this thing up and back in, and basically there's your, in a nutshell, there's your proposed building. That quick and that easy. And again, just do that with the rest of them. Like 10 would be your point to start the parking lot. You'll have your northing and easting on that to get those points and take off, and just use those. And this is just straight lines in ortho, so it'll be easy to put those in, and then get all your drawing done. It's a really quick and easy method. If you have any problems with any of this, just please contact me. But again, make sure that you use the correct layers. This right here, click on it. This would be, of course, your property line. Click on that. Click on this one, also change it to property line. Now they don't look right, so I'm going to go here into layer properties, because these might need to be updated and fixed. If they do, just open it up. Property line is a phantom line, 0.8. That looks good. That's exactly what it should be. So what it is just not showing up there. So we'll go to B-size paper, and I want to do myself and bring in our layout. I want to bring this in. I was kind of get an idea what kind of scale this would be on. Do a custom scale. We'll do add, just guessing at it, 1 inch equals 60 foot. And let's just see how close we are to that. Oh, 1 inch equals 60 foot is exactly what we need. And then, are you noticing that? Whenever we've done the 1 inch equals 60 foot, it puts our line type in there perfectly for that. Even though it's not showing it over here, it's really showing it in here really nicely. So really, when this prints out, this is really what I'm looking for to make sure this thing looks good, is what I'm going to print out. So this is, make sure that you look at this and make sure you're using the right layers for everything. But again, if you have any problems or any issues with this project or assignment, please don't hesitate to contact me.